Hey Geeks! We're back with another Walking Dead review, this time reviewing The Walking Dead Season 7, Episode 14, titled The Other Side.
If you haven't seen this episode yet and you want to avoid any spoilers, you're going to want to skip this video and come back later because everything we say from this point forward is going to be a spoiler.
Okay, this was another really good episode of The Walking Dead. We have 4 things we really want to talk about for this review. The first one being Eugene. Sasha and Rosita, Sasha and Rosita, when they miss their opportunity to
Snipe.
When she misses her opportunity to snipe Negan, they decide, all right, we're going in. And they do, and they get all the way to the fence, and Eugene is there, and they take out the guy who was with Eugene, and then like, come on, we're breaking you out. So I'm like, did the plan change right there? That's one thing that I'm curious about.
Yeah.
Did, in the spur of the moment, they decide, okay, let's just get Eugene and go?
I think they did. I do think that was well, here's an opportunity, let's just go with it. Or maybe one of them was going to take Eugene and the other one carry forward.
Anyway, they're like, dude, we're breaking you out, let's go. And he's like, no, I can't, I'm staying here. And he runs away.
Yeah, and like, I didn't ask to be rescued.
Yeah.
That was the big thing for me, is I didn't ask to be rescued. And I want to believe it's because he has a plan and he needs to be on the inside, but it's Eugene. I really, really feel like he's just a coward and he was scared to leave.
That's really where I'm leaning as well. I think he's a coward and he was afraid to leave. I don't think that his story is going to break down like it did in the comics. I think it's going to be radically different. I think it's going to take something huge for him to finally decide it's time to, suck it up and do something. I think right now he's just too afraid to do anything, even let himself be rescued.
Yeah.
But in that moment, Sasha, she's on the other side of the fence. She's like, hang on, this is going to take a second. I don't know what she was saying was going to take a second because she had squeezed through the fence and Rosita is smaller than Sasha. so I don't think she had to open up the fence anymore. But instead, she tied the fence and now Sasha's on the inside and Rosita's locked out. So Rosita had to bolt.
Yeah.
And on her way out, she sees a mystery figure who looks a lot like Daryl, but might be Dwight.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's Dwight.
I think it's probably Dwight. I think probably whoever Rosita thinks it is, it'll be the other person. So if she thinks it's Dwight, it'll be Daryl. If she thinks it's Daryl, it'll be Dwight. So it doesn't matter really what we think, it's what Rosita thinks.
I think it's Dwight.
I think it's probably Dwight.
Yeah.
And those are really the first 2 things I wanted to talk about, was Eugene and then Sasha with Rosita. And Sasha and Rosita in this episode, they had a really great moment together where they just kind of talked and not really vented, but confided in each other. And Rosita told Sasha all about how she learned all the stuff that she's picked up on throughout the zombie apocalypse, which I thought was really cool. That's probably more insight into Rosita than we've ever gotten, even in the comics.
Yeah, and I really hope that since we have that insight and Rosita didn't go in and get herself killed, that they freaking do something with Rosita. Mm-hmm. Like, come on, give her a story, make her, like, she is probably, second to Eugene, the most useful person in the apocalypse, and they've done diddly with her.
Yeah. And Rosita, I feel like Rosita was totally wasted in the comics. Hopefully they do something with her in the show. Christian Serratos is pregnant right now, though. So that could, maybe play a small part in what AMC, Walking Dead, Gimple, Nicotero, the whole gang, what they decide to do with the character.
Yeah.
The next thing I want to talk about for this video is Daryl and Maggie. When Daryl first escaped from the sanctuary and he got back to Hilltop, we just assumed that he had to have had a conversation with Maggie at that point because, he was staying at Hilltop, and of course they would have talked.
Yes.
Apparently they never did. They never did.
But I think that this is one of the things that they've done brilliantly right. Like, I think they wrote the Daryl and Maggie reunion thing perfectly. Yeah. Where Daryl just kind of avoids Maggie because he feels guilty, and then being forced to kind of acknowledge what happened, and Maggie comforting him and him feeling all that guilt. Like, it was perfect. Like, I don't think it could have been written any better.
She's like, it's not your fault, it's Negan's fault. And I'm still on the, it's Daryl's fault.
And I'm with her. If you watched our watch along, I was with her where I'm like, it's not his fault, it's Negan's fault. Negan killed him. Daryl had no idea that his reaction was going to result in somebody else's death. He had no idea.
But I think it was a great moment.
Yes.
Because Maggie, her forgiveness kind of washed away all that guilt he felt. And yeah, I mean, we've got, Daryl's got a new crossbow. He's kind of rejuvenated and wanting to fight to the point where, again, he's overlooking consequences. He was going to kill that savior in the basement, and Maggie talked him down. So hopefully he'll be a little bit more level-headed, like still badass and ready to fight.
But thinking about it first.
Yeah, strategizing a little more instead of kill first, ask questions later. And finally, we want to talk about Gregory. Gregory in this episode was so infuriating, and he always is.
Yeah.
Gregory is easily...
He was exceedingly infuriating in this. Like, it was way more than normal, because he is always infuriating, but it was way more than normal.
He is, hands down, to me anyway, hands down the most easily dislikable character in the history of The Walking Dead. Whether you're talking novels, comic books, television show, whatever, Gregory is the most dislikable character.
I'm down with that.
And it's just he ratcheted it up. He's even more dislikable in this episode.
He manages to be more
turned it up a little
dislikable.
bit. The character of Simon is fantastic. I think Simon is almost better written than Negan right now, and the performance there is fantastic.
Yeah, Simon is amazing right now.
And Gregory brown-nosing to Simon. Oh
Yes.
My God. To the point where at one point in the episode, Gregory's like, hey, we got you some bourbon. He's like, I'm not into bourbon anymore. I'm more of a tequila man now. And then at the end of the episode, what's Gregory drinking?
Tequila.
Yeah. So, God, hate that guy. Hate that guy so much. But the Saviors were at Hilltop to get Dr. Carson. And Gregory, he did, he argued, he tried to get them to not take him, but that's an argument he was going to lose. And so to his people, he's got to look very, very weak.
I think this is what brings him down, and I think this is the pivotal moment where Maggie takes over. Because everybody's already starting to default to her, so it's just naturally where it has to go.
I think on the day-to-day stuff, people are already looking to Maggie to lead.
And especially with the fight against the Saviors, they're looking to Maggie.
Mm-hmm. So I think at this point, Gregory just thinks he's still in charge, and as far as the Saviors go and dealing with them, he is in charge. But on the day-to-day operation of Hilltop, it's definitely Maggie.
Yeah.
So I think it's not going to be that far off where Gregory's going to be told to, step aside and let her take over. Gregory's going to have to deal with it. He's going to have to swallow his pride, and that's not going to go down very easily. And if you've read the comics, you know what happens further down the road.
Yeah.
Because Gregory can't stand to not be in a position of power. And the very last thing I want to mention about Gregory is, did Simon actually give him directions to the sanctuary? Or did he just give him fake directions to somewhere else, like as a joke?
I feel like, because Gregory didn't actually see what was written on that paper, and we haven't been privy to it yet either, I feel like it was like, fuck you type thing. I don't think it's actually an address at all. I think it's kind of like, grow a pair, moron.
Drew a picture of a middle finger.
Yeah, I feel like it's gonna be just an insult.
Yeah, I don't think Simon actually gave Gregory directions. I hope we get to see what he wrote down.
Me too. I'm curious. I want to know what he said.
Yeah. Alright, this was a super good episode of The Walking Dead. We've been really hard on The Walking Dead this season 7, but the last couple episodes have been really, really good. Hopefully it continues for the final 2 episodes of the season. Speaking of the final 2 episodes, we've been doing a virtual watch party. You can tune in to our live stream and watch on your TV.
Watch us watch The Walking Dead.
Along with us, and then talk about it as we go along. However, for the season finale, we're going to be at WrestleMania, so there will be no live watch party for the season finale of season 7, which is a huge bummer. If we were going to miss an episode, this is the worst possible one to miss. but that's the way it shakes out.
Yeah.
Alright, I think that's all we have for this video. If you have anything to add, please let us know down in the comments. Also, if you enjoyed this video, share this video on Facebook or Twitter and subscribe if you haven't already.
And thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.